Hey guys, it's Emily. I am going to show you guys a video real quick on how I do my foundation routine. This is my daily foundation routine. This is what I do on a daily basis. I don't wear foundation or makeup every single day of the week because I'm a stay-at-home mom and I love having days where my face is just completely bare. But this is an everyday foundation routine that includes concealer, foundation, bronzer, complexion. It's a complexion with some light contouring. I love contouring, but when I do it on a daily basis just to run errands or even small events, I don't like to go overboard. I love contouring and I'll do another video on that, but that's for another time and place. This is just for a really natural, pretty, nice clear complexion. And obviously I don't have a clear complexion. I'm 15 weeks pregnant, so my skin is kind of been crazy. Normally it's pretty clear. I use the Clarisonic and I do a pretty good skincare routine. But right now with all the hormonal changes and just growing new life, my skin is kind of going berserk. So this is no makeup, just a clean face, and then I have my eye makeup done and my lips done. I just wanted to keep the last step of getting my face for you guys because I know this can be the tricky part for women, but I find it is the most important part in our makeup and beauty routine is the foundation and complexion. If you don't have the right kind of foundation, the right kind of complexion for your face, it really does make or break your look. And foundation is the one thing that I do splurge on. It's the one product that I'm willing to spend $30, $40, $50 on. And I find that, and call me snobbish, I find that foundation is best when it's not drugstore. I have yet to find a drugstore one that I like, that I really could give up everything else. So this is just my routine. I want to keep it not too long. So I'm just going to show you. I'm going to actually clip my hair back because even though it will look silly, I just want to make sure that I show you guys everything correctly and not get anything in my face. So first things first, have a clean face when you're putting on your foundation and your makeup. I exfoliated this morning. I exfoliate 1 to 2 times a week, and the other days I do my Clarisonic and like a 3-step system from Clinique. Right now I'm kind of in a transition of finding a new routine because my skin again is changing on me. So bear with some of this craziness, and I'm a picker, so it's horrible to admit that on YouTube. So of course, I have to worry about scarring and stuff. So anyways, first thing you do with a pretty complexion, I'm just going to call it the complexion video, is concealer. Concealer is so important. I didn't figure this out until I was in the cosmetic world, how important concealer was. It is a must after 25. I really do feel like after 25, your skin really does start taking a toll. You start getting the baggy eyes, the dark circles, the wrinkles, yada, yada, yada. Long story short, I could do a whole video on how important concealer is, but I'm going to keep this to just complexion. First thing you're going to want to do is, the first thing I always do is I put my concealer on first, and then sometimes I put it on after. This is where I'm putting in my light contouring part of this video. So I'm going to try to lean in. You're going to do under your eyes, just kind of like a swoop or two, kind of like half moons, and then just a little bit. You don't want to use too much. And then you go down your nose and kind of shape it out. You kind of look like you're putting on war paint, which is kind of makeup. And then you're just going to do kind of at the tip of your chin. That's where I put this Nars concealer. It's just Nars in vanilla, and it retails I think for $26, but it is worth its weight in gold. I let my concealer sit for a little bit. I feel like when you first put concealer on and you go right in it, it's too slick. It needs to kind of settle in your skin and kind of mix it with your oils. So I give it a minute. While I'm doing that, I use another concealer. This is MAC, and it's more of a putty. I don't know if you can really see that. I've had this for a couple of years, so it does last a long time. It's in a pod. I love MAC because I love how they put things in little containers, glass containers like this. I don't know why, but I love it. This is NC15, and it's called Studio Sculpt Concealer, which they have great Studio Sculpt stuff. This stuff is for the blemishes. This is for the stuff that you really need to get covered, and like a light concealer doesn't do that. So I'm going to go through and all my redness, I'm going to blot it on. And again, I'm not going to spread it out till it's kind of had time to get on my skin. So there's that. There's that one. I need to stop picking my skin so much. I use it sparingly. Sparingly? Yeah. Because, you know, no matter how good the concealer, no matter how much money you spend on it, it can look obvious if you use too much. So I'm letting it sit. I do this a lot. You'll notice this with all my videos. I don't have time to let things air dry naturally. So now it's kind of given a minute. Your concealer should kind of be settling. So the first thing I'm going to do is the Nars tube stuff. So you're going to, I want to make sure you guys can see this. You're going to take your finger, which your hands are your best tool, ladies, and you're just going to kind of pat it in under your eye. You don't have to go overboard. You don't have to worry about blending too much because we haven't put the foundation on. And sometimes I notice if I put too much on one side, I'll kind of blend it with the other. So you're just going through, kind of getting under your eye all the way to the eye line. Not dragging it too much. Our under eye skin is very sensitive. And just kind of working with your fingers all over the nose. I pretty much cover the nose. My nose has a tendency to get redder than any other part of my face. So I am not afraid to use concealer there and cover that up. I don't know what it is about the nose, but it's my trouble area. And I just kind of blend the top. Again, you don't have to go overboard. Don't think about it. That's the thing. I think people think, oh, there's too many steps and they overthink it. Just use your fingers and just blend. And don't forget the areas. So that is just the concealer blended. And I already kind of look better. Sorry if this is slightly blurry. I'll try to push in because I feel like then you can see better. Next step is our foundation. I never use just one foundation. I'm that girl that mixes my foundations because I feel like our skin changes colors on us depending on if you've been outside or not. Right now I'm really pale, but I do like to add, this is for a whole other video, but I love yellow tone foundations. I think everybody should be yellow tone foundations, which is Bobbi Brown's theory. She kind of started that revolution of putting yellow tone in her foundations for every skin type. I think it evens out any woman. Pink tone foundations are horrible. Never buy them. And if you are wearing pink tone, even if you are pink tone, don't do it. Anyways, that's for another video. So I'm going to use Smashbox Camera Ready BB cream and Makeup Forever HD foundation, and this is in 115, so neutral 115, and this is just in the classic light BB Ready. What I do is, let's see if I can do this. I use the back of my hand. It's kind of my canvas. I squeeze that much on there, and I make sure I always mix my foundations. Mix your foundation every day. It settles. You want to get the best product out. And one pump of that. I mix them together again because I like the texture and just because I've been putting foundation on myself and on so many people for so many years that I just have found a really good routine of mixing, and I find that, I don't know, I just like to mix. So if you're scared of mixing, don't feel like you had to go run out and buy like another color. Just use the foundation that you use that you love. This is just my preference. So then I take a foundation brush. I don't always use a foundation brush, but I'm using one today. And you're just going to start on the nose. And you're going to make marks on the cheeks, across the forehead, on the siding, kind of the jawline. And then I'm going to put this away because I feel like our hands are really our best tool. That is just to kind of get it on so it's on. Then I take my fingers and use 2 or 3 and I just start blending it in. I think we kind of get so caught up on using brushes and brushes and brushes that we forget that our hands really can get that foundation in our skin and blend it so much better. I feel like we can use brushes as tools, but don't forget your hands. Especially if you're not really a makeup savvy person. You don't have to feel like, oh, I don't have the foundation brush. I can't do this routine. You sure can. I use both. So there's that. And then I have a little bit more on my hand I'm going to use. I just kind of touch up. Sorry if hopefully you can see this. And then I always go through after I've used a foundation brush and I re-blend it with my fingers. just, I don't know, I just feel more in touch when I use my hands. I feel like it really does the job. Make sure it's blended in. If good foundation means you don't have to worry about like a neckline or anything. So there's that. Foundation is done using BB cream and foundation. Again, don't feel like you have to go out and buy. If you have a good routine, this is just kind of a technique. So I always let my foundation settle for a little bit before I go forth and do anything else. But the one thing I do differently than most people is I put on, right now, not always, it just depends on how my skin is. I'm putting on some powder. It's MAC Studio Fix NC20. And it just, I've only used a tiny bit. I use this MAC brush, number 182. This thing is so old, but there you go. And I just lightly pat it on, and I just dust it all over my face. This kind of sets it. I mean, like lightly. This powder is just to set it. This is not to add more color. Boom. Look how good it already looks. Okay, so this is not the only thing that you want to do. You want to make sure you add a little bit of contouring and color to your face. This is the fun part. This is where I put my bronzer. I'm a bronzer girl. What girl isn't? This is the Bobbi Brown bronzer in medium. And I use this Clinique bronze. It's the Clinique bronzer brush. It's big. It's perfect. I've used a lot of bronzer brushes. This is worth its weight in gold. I use lots of bronzer. I probably use too much, but I just dust the whole thing, get it completely covered, maybe shake off a little bit, and I go kind of right under my cheekbone, and I just go up, always going up towards the hairline, not down. Under the cheekbone, which basically means you're not going to do it right here. You're going to do it more in the middle of your cheek, focusing on the hollows, which I don't really have hollows because I have a baby face. My face probably makes me look bigger than I already am, but I'm actually not that. I'm not like overweight. My face is it carries all my weight. I don't know why I've got the baby face. So then I'm going to go back and forth, and there's that. But that's not the only place I leave my bronzer. I, again, dip it and kind of shake it off because this is where you don't want to get too much. And I do a little bit on this side, a little bit on this side. Again, light touching. And then the best part, especially since I don't have a strong jawline, thanks Dad, genetics, I have to put some bronzer underneath. Blend it down. You don't want to be weird looking. Get up by under the ears. It won't hurt you. Just make sure when you clean your face to get that back area too. So there's bronzer. See how much it warmed up my face? But again, I didn't go overboard. And then I use my Nars. I hate saying this word. Orgasm Nars blush. I wasn't a big fan of it, but then I started using it, and I do like it. Does warm up my face in the wintertime, so I do like it in the wintertime, and it adds a little sheen. So I don't have my blush brush with me, so I'm just going to use this one, but try to use a blush brush. This is where it just goes right on top of the cheeks. Not too much. You don't want to be that lady who wears all that blush. You don't want to be that lady that's like, oh my gosh, she has so much blush on. The top of the cheeks is like right here. You want to focus on, you don't ever want to put blush down here. That's for bronzer. So there's that, Nars. And then last step is my highlighting. WhatsApp Benefits Highlighting Cream Stick. It's amazing. I'm a huge highlighting fan. This is kind of going contouring, but I keep it very simple. I don't want to look too shimmery. So then I just do under the eye like a swoop. Under the eye swoop. A straight line down the nose. Chin. And I let it set for a second. Let it kind of get my skin. And then I just go through. Make sure it's blended down, and this really does add some beauty. Gosh, I hope you guys can buy this WhatsApp stuff. It's at Sephora. It's amazing. Nars has a great one called, I don't know what it's called, but they have a Nars stick, which is just as good. It's a little bit more, but any kind of highlighter is amazing, no matter what color you are. So there is that, my complexion. Obviously, sometimes you see that you need more concealer. This is the touch-up phase. Touching it up. Okay, so now let's see. See, just nice and clean and not overly contoured, not overly done. I don't like a really masky look. Everything I do is a light touch. Sorry, my hair's kind of weird. There you go. And I just did a light makeup look today because I'm just running errands today. And woo. Okay, so there you go. There is my complexion / foundation daily routine. I hope you guys can take some advice and tips from it. I will put the links to the products I used in below. If you have any questions, just let me know. I know this is a lot to take in, but it's a long video, so hopefully you learned something. All right, well, it was so nice teaching you guys, and thank you so much for those who are watching. It's just weird that I don't know why I'm doing this, but I do like sharing. This is like fun for me. So thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you guys later.